So often there's in my opinion the misunderstanding about what I want to talk about here right now personally basically is my thinking about requirements engineering and working in an agile way. So personally for me, requirements engineering is the codification of knowledge. So the idea is we have all those great ideas and we write them down and put them in a box, and then half a year later we can open the box and the same information will come back and go into our head and we have exactly the same understanding. Now the problem is the reality doesn't work that way. So if we are really good at writing down information, we get about 30% on paper. And if we're really good at reading, we get about 80% back. So it's a very lossy process. And the other problem is that our language is not context free. There's always room for interpretation. Now I had people the requirements wrong because the comma wasn't at the right place. So there's really like this so many errors which could happen. And because of that, we introduced more and more formalisms about how to write down requirements, and we became better and better at it, but we never really solved the problem. Now, instead of trying to really codify and write down all the information to be able to understand it later on, maybe even for someone else, even this is a totally different topic, is that how about we just have an idea, we figure out what is the most important thing to do next, we'll talk about it, we increase our levels of interaction communication, like as it's stated in the Agile Manifesto, and then we act on it immediately. And then we verify and validate that it's the right thing. And if this is the case, we can check it off and move on to the next one. And that's really the foundation of iterative and incremental product development. So essentially for me, if you do Agile right, it will really change the way you do requirements engineering, because you wouldn't really do it anymore. You would just build a working product. Now, I know some of you would say, well, but how about all the documents we need for this and that? Well, put them in your definition of done. Make sure your architecture document is up to date after every sprint. Make sure your interface definitions are up to date after every sprint. So you would have working product and proper documentation as well.